It's on the whole. It's they're gonna know all that, and they're not gonna magically appraise a conventional appraisal higher. In some ways, it's more lenient. In some ways, it's more strict, just like FHA appraisal. So be aware of that. Be aware of the appraisal being attached to the home. So
Yeah.
knowing that is very important.
No, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, uh, as we all know, inventory is very low, guys. Okay, there's a lot of buyers out there still, a lot of cash buyers. A lot of buyers have been eliminated because the interest rates went up and they can't qualify for that higher monthly payment anymore. So, what I suggest you do is keep on doing your homework, keep on doing your due diligence as far as saving, uh, keeping your credit in good condition. Don't make any major purchases, such as cars, right? That'll affect your income to debt ratio when it comes down time to buy a house.
Mm-hmm.
So all those are really big factors when you're buying your first house, and for first-time home buyers, even for experienced investors such as myself. All those are factors when it comes to qualifying.
And the ones who are pulling it off now, I think that's why you almost sense a desperation with buyers.
FOMO.
With the inventory being so low. The ones who are pulling it off now, they're going to be well positioned, as we know, in a year or two.
Yes.
It goes by so fast, and especially for first-time home buyers. Man, call me for specific home buyers in San Bernardino and Riverside County. You guys are going to want to call me. There's just there's so many advantages right now that get while you can. Because if rates go up even further, it's just going to make the payments higher and take away buying power.
Yeah, well, this last meeting with the feds, right, they kind of left it stagnant. They didn't drop it, they didn't raise it. So I've heard over talk that in July and September that they are going to be raising rates again. Who knows? I don't know. That's just what I hear in the industry. But regardless if they raise it or not, finding that deal is most important, because in any market, if you find the right deal, guys, then that's going to be great now and even better in the future, as we're talking about.
Exactly, because when you're a first-time home buyer, depending on the time, like some people who bought it after the pandemic and in 2001 when we had rates never seen before, the lowest ever. Yeah, certain people probably won't want to restructure. I've had somebody who had a 3%, under 3%, 30-year fixed. But guess what? It was more valuable to save them $2,000, paying off all the toys and starting fresh. And that was an extra income, because life happens. And when you own a home, stuff, you build. Yes. And, kind of like what I'm doing now. I've been getting my property ready to turn that into a rental and step down into another house versus buying an investment home.
Nice.
My sons are adults, and it's a big house.
It is a huge house, man.
So
I get lost in there.
Now it's time to turn that into a rental. So I know exactly, just putting that time and effort in, and, saving and, preparing for something that, looking and finding the next deal.
Yeah.
It's just, you're always, especially as a homeowner now, this is a great time to turn your house into a rental, especially if you have a low rate.
Oh, yes.
And step into another house if you can find the deal. It's just...
Absolutely. So it's about finding the deal, right? If you're thinking about becoming a landlord, freshen up your landlording skills. You can Google how to be a landlord, best scenarios on what your situation is, how to do it, where to go get the forms. So there's all kinds of ways to learn. As I mentioned before, the information age is upon us, and we have all that at our fingertips, right? Mm-hmm. So
give us some things that you've done, like when you said, I really want to, and you're managing 14 units, rehabbing, you built an ADU and put it and turned it into a rental. What, so step one. All right, we know what rate on return. We know what that happens. That's when you're really serious, you're pre-qualified, we're getting into it. But, all right, we bought the rental property.
Okay.
Or we're turning our current house into a rental property. Right off the bat, a lot of times you want to have a renter lined up. What are you doing to putting signs out? What's step one?
When I first began with our first units, I would talk to everybody that I knew. I would put it out there, guys. Okay,
Yes.
tell family, friends. I have a rental coming up. That was my first thing that I did in the beginning of our building our portfolio. Okay, and we had a little bit of an advantage because we do own a restaurant, so I was able to get the word out there personally to a lot of our clients and even our employees. But right now, what I'm doing, Robert, to get a good tenant, uh, is putting it out there on social media, Instagram, Facebook. Okay, people contact me. Ray, I live in the area. What does it take to get into one of your rentals? Okay, I'm going to be having it ready at this time. How many people are moving in? Get general information of the family, right? Do they have any pets?
So you have like a questionnaire. Do you have you worked up like your own personal application form of what you would like answered?
Well, my first questions right off the bat is how many people are moving in, adults and children, ages, do they have any pets? And I explain to them I do require a pet deposit if you do have pets, and all that's in the lease agreements. And if they're interested and I talk to them and I get a good vibe, okay, you know what? I have to meet you in person along with my wife, because ultimately my wife will tell me, you know what, I get a good vibe or I don't get a good vibe.
Right, that means
A woman's
so much.
intuition is really important. And so that's what part of my system. And that's what my wife does. And so after that, if we feel that good vibe and we like them, okay, I get all the information, names, social securities, ages of, and birth dates of every single person going to be living in the house, because every single person is going to be added to the lease agreements. And at that point, I do my background and credit check. And
Do you charge them for credit?
yes,
Oh.
I do. It's a background and credit check, and I charge them $60 per adult. Yes.
Now we learned from the sheriff.
Yes.
You started that was on Greg Jones.
Yeah, Greg Jones, right.
Yeah, he runs the head of the crime prevention for housing.
For housing.
He mentioned, I think we like to manage and be in control and learn, but I liked his idea about the third party checkup.
Yes, you know what? I haven't implemented it because I haven't got a tenant that I need to screen, but I'm going to be going that route for next time. And what Robert's talking about is getting a third party to do the credit check and background check, meaning you hire somebody to do all that so that there's no litigation involved in case I do make a mistake and something does happen.
Yeah, I think credit check you'll be fine because we're doing it straight on credit.
Yeah.
But that background check,
Yes, background check.
having a third party is, I think, going to be important. And I'm curious to see whether the fees. I can't imagine it's too much, for the service of having somebody check somebody's background.
It shouldn't be too much.
But there are services out there, obviously.
Absolutely, absolutely. So after that, I get all the results back and I tell them yes or no, and they agree to whether they, you got to get a feel for what they're trying to accomplish, if they're going to be there a year, 5 years, because a lot of people, a rental is a stepping stone, right? So sometimes I do month to month. I do that just to make it convenient for them and myself as well. But I've been recently doing 1-year leases at this point, and it's pretty simple, guys. Don't let something like this stop you from investing in rentals, because honestly, investing in rentals has really made a huge difference in our lives as far as financial freedom goes. I was able to go on vacation and not worry about it. I had my contractors working on a property. Anybody had an issue, they would just call me or text me, and very simple. And the reason why I haven't gotten a property manager yet, Robert, I wanted to experience it firsthand so that I know what to look for and what to expect when I do hire a property manager.
Nice.
I'm going to know how to manage my property manager at that point.
You know how to even get the right property management company when you do get too many units to where it just doesn't make sense.
Yes, and eventually I will be hiring a property manager. I just haven't felt the need.
Yeah, you've been able to manage
Yeah,
everything appropriately.
And working my 16-hour day job.
So do you,
W2.
what is the standard? Are you asking for first month's, last month's, cleaning deposit? What?
Yeah, I forgot.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
rules too,
Yeah.
for service animals. So
Absolutely.
we learned a lot of that.
So I do require proof of income as well, and And I forgot to mention that. That's really important. I have to know that they're going to be